What is going on, Not So Pro Nation? We're back. It is, for us, Monday night. The game just finished. What a good game. At first, I thought it was going to be a blowout, definitely by the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, they were just rolling in the first half. It was 21 skunk by halftime. That is crazy. And not once did Mike Williams get the ball. Just kidding. He did get it once, and that was it. Oh, that hurt. That hurts. For y'all who don't know, in fantasy, I was going up against Vince. I needed 5 points, just 5 points from Mike Williams. That should have been a lock. It should have been lime time. It was not. But, it is what it is. You're going to get those weeks. It's okay. It's going to be a long season. Just like how some people feel about their teams, it's a long season, guys. We got one extra game. Same goes with fantasy. So it's all right. It's all right. Chill out.
If it makes you feel any better, AJ, I went 1-2 in my fantasy leagues. So you were the anomaly, my friend.
I went 2-1, and you're the reason why I'm not going to be in first place in all three of my leagues. That's right. I'm in first place. Oh, I'm in second, first, and now I'm going to be, I don't know, probably second or third and first. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. It's going to be a long season. Gotta look up. You can't be perfect. Nothing in life isn't perfect. Reed, what's wrong? I mean, not Reed. It's the Gabe. What's wrong, man?
I just need y'all's help. My fantasy football team not doing so hot, and I've come to take notes yet again because this week I did have some help. I had some advice I took from you guys, and I know a lot of other guys out there that watch our show had some good weeks because of you guys. So I'm just writing down some notes, ready to hear it from you guys.
Yes, that is true. A lot of people did have great success, even people who we are playing up against. One is what we mentioned last video, Joseph Langodia, another huge shout out from us. He gave us a shout out on Twitter saying that we helped him win the game. Not only did he draft the players that we were talking about on Thursday, he also started those players, which led him to a victory against the number one contender in his league. Also, another shout out to Benny Benavides. He listened to some advice that we had. He was going up against me this week. Picture that, huh? My team is pretty stacked, but you know what? It came down to the wire. He had Derek Carr and Hunter Renfro left. He needed 30 points, and he came pretty darn close with those two. Derek Carr, unfortunately, did not perform that great tonight. He did have an interception at the very end. He did have a chance to come back and win it for Benny, but that's just how the ball rolls sometimes. Just
man.
Like
I think Derek Carr needed like 4 or 5 more points so Benny could surpass you. But
oh yeah,
that pick ruined it all.
Yeah, he threw that pick, and then it was game over. He pretty much iced the game for me, but I was a little worried. But in a way, I was not going to be mad because I was happy. I was ecstatic that he was listening to us. He took our advice, and he drafted well. He picked up some players that people don't normally do, but we gave him the right reasons, the guidance, and hopefully you guys could take that too. That's why we have this fantasy talk here with Not So Pro. I'm excited. It's going to be a good week. We got a lot of good matchups this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, you guys? Last week, we're talking about defense, right? Defense was a big deal. And I was saying, you want to aim for the Tennessee Titans because they're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I also said you want to aim for the Cincinnati Bengals because Titans were going up against the Jets and Bengals were going up against Jacksonville. But you know what? Those two teams showed up. They showed up and they took it to the Bengals and Titans, and that's just the NFL. This is no Pee Wee League. There's no team that is a secure lock. You never know. These are professional players playing to this fullest potential. But one defense that really stood out was
who was it? They scored like
The Bills against the Houston Texans.
19 points, I think. Well, in our league, at least, have the settings changed a little bit. So probably like 15 to 19 points
Yeah, I
for that.
believe in another league I saw 16. So range from 16 to 20 points, let's just say. And that's just outstanding from a defense. I mean, that's basically another wide receiver that you just have on your team that is just really making it stand out. Another big, huge standout from a player that you would have expected from Tyler Bass, the kicker for the Bills. He had 16 points. What an amazing game he had. And I just kept getting notifications. Tyler Bass kicked a field goal. Tyler Bass kicked a field goal. And I was like, do I have him in multiple leagues? I was like, no, I just have him in one league. And that was just awesome, having 16 points. Yeah, against this guy right here. But hey, at the
I
end, it
was
didn't
so
matter, right?
mad. I was so mad, bro.
It's okay. And then, yeah, Vince goes ahead and picks up Robbie Gold, who gets a strained
Oh,
hamstring. So did Gabe.
oh,
They both got Robbie Gold the last minute, got a strained hamstring during warmups, so he did not perform. He got 0 points. Logan Thomas also has like what,
Yeah,
0.16 points. He got
yeah,
hurt as well. Joe Mixon got hurt. We had a lot of injuries this week.
yeah.
So how do we cut out from those injuries? How can we fix that? For me, also, Rob Gronkowski, huge blow to me. That was a tight end that put up some good, decent wide receiver points week by week. So, Vince, how do I recover from that?
Well, I mean, anybody who has logical sense in fantasy, and if you don't, if you have a great player that just got injured, you keep that guy on your bench. I don't care if he's on injured reserve. You keep him until he comes back in. Unless they tell you it's a season-ending injury, you keep him on your bench. But other than that, you just got to listen to people like us. Make your best judgment with whatever's in your free agency wire, and you just pick up the best guy that we either suggest or you think is going to have a breakout time. If they have like a backup on that team, definitely probably go for that backup. It's always probably a decent bet. But if there's another guy like, let's see, I don't know what position we're talking about. We can talk about tight ends right now since you brought up Gronkowski. There's Dawson Knox. He's in 46% of rosters right now on the NFL app. Hunter Henry's only in 12.4% of rosters. He's also another guy that's coming up. Hopefully, he keeps getting passes from Mac Jones. Another guy last year that I really liked, didn't have a lot of games that he started in, but CJ Uzoma from the Bengals. This past week, he had 26.5 points, so that's another guy to watch out for. He hasn't solidified his role yet, but he definitely is someone who could possibly get you a lot of points. And of course, last but not least, Zach Ertz. He had 3 red zone passes thrown to him. I believe he didn't catch any of them, sadly. But that just shows you that Jalen Hurts is looking for him now. Zach Ertz was pretty irrelevant within the first 2 to 3 weeks, but this past week he got 12 points. Oh, I'm sorry. Third week he had 15.3 points. This week he had 12. But again, those red zone passes are really key because they could get you another plus 6 points to whatever he has on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very accurate. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gabe.
And another big shout out to you guys. You guys helped me with my defenses. You know, like you said, a defense could almost count as a receiver. Instead of going for a defense like so and so, I went for the best matchup, and I ended up going with the Bears instead of I believe instead of the Bucks, and the Bears defense came up and showed up, and that was a huge plus for me. Advice that you guys gave me, so that's a pretty big plus right there. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. And I mean, every week it's all about matchups. It's going to be a little challenging week 5 for all fantasy players, because week 5 you have a lot of great matchups, and you have a couple of matchups with teams that are evenly matched. So who do you go for? Of course, number one, you want to go with the Patriots defense. They're going up against Houston. So Houston, they're not looking too hot, especially with Davis Mills as their QB and their offensive line just breaking down. The number two, honestly, that I will look at is going to be a little surprising to some people, but I have the Vikings going up against the Lions. The Vikings should do decently well, and they've been surprising me for the past 2 weeks. They've been playing honestly really good. And other than that, you have a lot of close matchups. It is going to be a tough week for some people, but if you really want to get into it, maybe reach out for the Raiders who are going up against the Bears. I know Justin Fields had a great day, but maybe an experienced defense could expose a young rookie QB, especially, not especially, but there's a chance if Andy Dalton is healthy, he gets back on the field. And, he's coming back from injury. There could be some flaws there as well. So those are my three top defenses.
Yeah, man, I can't contend with that. I mean, defenses aren't my forte when it comes to fantasy. I usually try to get two of the best defenses that I can. This year, I've tried it to how you do it, AJ, trying to get those best defenses every week. Hasn't worked out for me quite just yet. I picked up the Bengals this week in one of our leagues. They only got me 1 point. But sometimes you got to roll the dice like that, especially with a lot of the injuries that are happening right now. You need points wherever you can get them on fantasy. So it's definitely a good tactic.
That's correct. And for those of y'all who are experienced and you guys are in it could be either experienced league or unexperienced league. We are in different leagues and they are very experienced. For those of y'all who are not in experienced leagues, reach out for players who are good. There's chance that those players are still available in your league. For example, still staying in the tight end division, you have a tight end, Jared Cook, who just played a phenomenal game right now. He finished off with 19 points today, but I looked it up. He's only owned in 70% of rosters. So that's 30% out there that people don't even bother with him. Or people just probably have him on his bench. Come on, you guys. Get with it. Yeah, that's right. Dawson Knox as well, like we said earlier, he's ranked 8th. There's a lot of potential out there in tight ends, and that's kind of like a hidden gem out there where they could potentially be acting like another wide receiver for y'all.
Exactly, man. And I know in the ESPN app at Flex, you can also put a tight end in there. So probably in those types of leagues, it's kind of hard to get an extra tight end at that caliber because a lot of people do that I've seen do put some tight ends in their flex as well. But yeah, so whatever app you're on, fantasy is fantasy. Hopefully it's PPR. Pretty much all experienced leagues go PPR just to boost up the points there. But yeah, just adds another level to it, and hopefully those tight ends are on your free agency wire.
Yeah, and mainly, guys, we do talk about PPR because that's the majority of the leagues that we're in. But still talking about those high caliber players who might not be picked up. Let's talk about running back Cordarrelle Patterson, right? Is that how you say his name? Cordarrelle. He
Cordarrelle,
is
yeah.
the backup second string running back for the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, yes, this is the 9th ranked running back in fantasy. He's averaging 20 points a game, you guys. He's averaging 20 points. Okay, he's getting at least 7 carries a game. And that's pretty darn good. He knows what to do with the ball. He's only owned in 69% of rosters. So, yeah, high caliber guy in a lot of rosters, but there's a small chance that no one has him because, one, he's in Atlanta, and 2, he's a backup. Yeah, and those guys who own him, the 69%, out of that 69%, only 34% of you guys are starting him. Only 34. Guys, if you haven't had your wake-up call, this is it right now. Put him in, okay? Put him in. Give him the respect that he deserves.
Straight up.
Me, I have Mike Davis, the starting running back for Atlanta. And he is not even getting that many points than Patterson. That's messed up, man. That's messed up.
Yeah,
So,
man. I definitely have him on my bench in one of the leagues. I could have probably won if I had him in. It was actually against this guy up here, Gabe. He beat me by about 20 points, came back and won it all with Eckler. But yeah, if I would have had Daniel Jones in or Cordero Patterson in, I would have beat him by quite a bit. But that's not how it happens. But sometimes you just got to take out some of your favorite players, even though they're on your own team. Like for me, I have Carson in. He only got me 4 points this week. But sometimes, you just got to go with who's hot. So I think this next week I might slide in Cordero Patterson there at the flex, maybe, depending on who the matchups,
Nice.
okay. I got a scenario. This is Gabe. Okay, Gabe's a scenario. But AJ, Cordell Patterson's already taken in my league, and I'm looking through all my free agents, and they're not that great. What other running back do you have that maybe I could go for because I'm suffering in running backs. I'm in a 14-man league. There's no running backs out there. Okay,
On
here you go,
for
Gabe. Remember, waiver wire and free agency is not your only choice. Okay. Something that Vince and I like to do, we study our players. And I don't mean our fantasy players, I mean our league players. Okay. I go to each and everyone's roster. I see their roster moves and I see who they drop and who they pick up and who they have on the bench starting week one. And one guy who's always on the bench, but more than likely on a team already. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to hate saying this. Please forgive me. Vincent, forgive me. James Conner,
Yep.
running back from Arizona. I hate that I'm saying this,
Got
but
him right
believe
there.
it, he has it right there. He's ready. Guys, more than likely he's picked up. Okay.
70% of leagues right now.
70% of leagues, but only 7% of that 70% is starting him. So that means they just might be willing to trade. Okay. And here's why you want to trade for him. He might not be the hottest running back out there, but that's on him. He has the potential and is not slowing down. He's averaging 11.70 points, inconsistent, sort of, but his attempts at targets, rushing targets, he's averaging 15 touches, 15 touches. That's not including reception targets. 15 touches at a running back. He's gonna catch fire sooner or later. And you might think, you Chase Edmonds owners, what about Chase Edmonds? Is that bad for him? No, that's not bad for him. Chase Edmonds, he's getting the same amount of targets, same amount of touches. They're literally splitting the backfield 50-50. It's just that Chase Edmonds, he's more successful than James Conner. But believe it or not, James Conner will catch fire sooner or later. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I do have a question for you guys. So we're talking about Arizona, good Arizona players. We know that Arizona's hot right now. What do you guys think about any of the receivers? I know they have a stacked receiver team. Any of their like third string receivers getting touches out there or anything like that?
Okay.
Yeah,
You want to go or you want me to go?
I've talked to, yeah, I'll go a little bit. I've talked about Rondell Moore quite a bit. His production has been slowing down because Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins are taking a lot of those reception touches, but also these running backs are taking a lot of receptions as well.
Yes.
Kyler Murray has been a little bit more pressured in the teams that he's playing so far. He's scrambling for his life, and sometimes the running backs are just an easy dump. So right now, there's not a solidified wide receiver 3 in Arizona. If anything, that wide receiver 3 is a running back. So yeah, pretty much right now for Arizona, there's not a wide receiver 3 that you can really trust.
Okay, I'm gonna make something up right now. I'm gonna make up a name, but I'm gonna compare the Cardinals to like the Chiefs to Tampa Bay. How many weapons is too many weapons? Never. But when you're in fantasy, that's a huge problem. You see, you got D Hop, you got Christian Kirk. But here's your ghost player, AJ Green, is someone who we mentioned last week and someone that Joseph actually picked up, one of our followers that helped him win the game, and he scored big. So another ghost player, for example, is someone like Emmanuel Sanders, not the number one, probably not the number two, but that guy that your quarterback just becomes comfortable with, your safety blanket. The guy who will make that catch where you need it. So those are those guys. That's why I don't really trust a lot of receivers from those teams, especially Arizona, because you got Kyler Murray who is great on his feet, who has weapons up the wazoo, has running backs up the wazoo. He just has options. So one week they could do amazing. The next week they might not even have a touch. Look at the Chargers today. Mike Williams, he had 3 or 4 targets. He connected with one of them. They didn't need him. Their running game was on point. They tried to run the clock out, and they had weapons. They threw it to Keenan Allen. They didn't need him. So you're gonna have those weeks. So that's the risk that you choose. I would say that's an absolute plan C right there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. I can't believe I missed AJ Green. Totally forgot about him. But yeah, in the past 3 weeks, he's averaging 15 points just off of my quick math. He's got 13 in week 2, 16 in week 3, and 18 this past week in week 4 against a nice defense in the Rams. So he goes up against San Francisco, sadly for you, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you've always liked AJ Green, but he might be that guy to torch y'all this week.
Yeah, that's ever since the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I've always been an AJ Green fan. He's been in the league for quite a while, and usually those ghost players they really perform against strong defenses because those strong defenses they lock down their number one, number two receiver, and it shows who your number three is. And when you have a number three receiver like AJ Green, that guy could be a wide receiver one in any other team. So, yeah, that's your ghost player, him and Emmanuel Sanders, and there's gonna be a couple other ones that we talk about. Well, speaking of wide receivers, if especially if you're in a PPR league, if you're having trouble in your wide receivers, I'm glad you're here because you really need help. There's a lot of talent this year when it comes to wide receivers, and I do mean a lot. So you should not be struggling. I got quite a few people here, but I
Go
think
for it, AJ.
oh, you want me
No,
to kick it
no,
off?
you go for it. I'll get the remainders that you didn't get.
Okay. So I got two that I'm going to save to the end. Okay. Because those two, um, I take pride and joy in announcing these to y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a high name player. His name is Devontae Parker. Okay. Devontae Parker. Yes, he's in. You got a new quarterback. The new quarterback seems to like him. Jacoby Brissett. He's averaging 11.80 points. He's averaging 8 attempts. And he's only owned in 22% of the rosters, you guys. More than likely, he was drafted and then dropped because of his production. But I tell you what, once the Dolphins find a rhythm, that's when you start going. Probably not this next week, but probably the following week. I know this next week they have a pretty tight matchup. I believe they are going up against, I have it right over
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, so that's
Ooh.
a pretty tight matchup. So I wouldn't really pick him up or start him this upcoming week, but just know that he's going to be out there and he should be a good pickup. I also have I have trouble saying his first name, Lavisca Chennault.
You got it.
Yeah, he is a wide receiver from Jacksonville Jaguars. As you guys know, DJ Chark, he's injured, so Chenault should be receiving a lot more touches or a lot more targets. He's been averaging eight, averaging 10 points a game. And he's only in 41% of rosters, guys. And for those of y'all who have him, only 4% of you guys are starting him.
Yeah,
Ooh.
pretty much.
Or sorry, 2%.
2%, buddy.
Yeah, 2% of you guys are starting him. It might be a good idea to start him here. He's gonna get some targets. Go ahead, Vince. I don't think I already have one guy here you're gonna name.
I'll go off first. I've been waiting for this guy to get off of injury for a long
I'll
time. I already, yeah. We think the same, AJ.
yes, we do.
This is the reason that the Jets won this past week, and that's because of Jameson Crowder. Of course, Wilson did his thing. He passed it pretty well to some of his receivers, but Jameson Crowder really makes a difference in the past like 2 or 3 years that he's been with the Jets. Uh, so it's his first game back. He's playing against kind of a risky defense against Tennessee Titans. They're ranked 31st right now in NFL
Oh, wow.
fantasy app. But he had 19.1 points. He had 9 targets, 7 receptions. I don't have the yards on here, but I know he also had a touchdown. So this guy, as soon as he starts playing, he slides in just perfectly well with that offense, and he's like a safety net for Wilson. So that's a guy. He's only on 5% of rosters right now. So you better get this guy on your waiver wire right
That's
now. He
definitely
better
right.
be your number one guy, especially if you're having wide receiver problems right now. He's very reliable. Even though he has a rookie quarterback, he's shown that he's that guy who can get those receptions. Let's see. I got another guy. He's not even he doesn't even have a number on roster percentage, AJ.
Oh yeah.
This guy does not even have a 0.0. Like it's like unknown how many rosters he's on. This guy is from the Lions, so he's not super reliable, but the past 2 weeks he has been against a good defense and a bad defense. His name is
Okay.
Khalif.
Oh, Raymond.
Yeah. So last week against a good defense in Baltimore, he had 12.8 points, but he had 10 targets, 6 receptions. So no touchdowns. But this week, he was facing the Bears. He had 6 targets, 3 receptions, and a touchdown. So the targets are there. The receptions this past week were not too accurate. He only had 50% catch rate, but this guy did very well. He caught a deep ball, I believe, in one of his catches. But yeah, 19.6 points this past week. So if this guy is on your waiver wire, which I'm pretty sure he is, because it doesn't seem like he's picked up in any league at all, pick him up, give him a chance. I'm not too sure if you start him. He's going against the Vikings, like AJ said earlier. So get that guy on your roster, bench him maybe. If you're having super, super bad problems at wide receiver and you have nobody to trust in, I'd trust in this guy. Take the gamble. He might pay off for you. I got one more, and sadly, Reed's not here. He would love this. Actually, I got two more. He would love this. Randall Cobb.
Oh,
Randall Cobb, baby. So Green Bay is finally getting their bearings back. Uh, Aaron Rodgers is going back to the old school ways, man. He's trying to turn the season around. You know, it might be his last season as a Packer. We'll see. But yeah, Randall Cobb this week, 5 receptions, 6 targets, 23.9 points, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. So he's sliding in very well back with the Packers after coming back from, I think he was on the Texans. Yeah, Texans. But yeah, that's another guy. He's only had one good week of production, so he's not consistent. But look for him to probably be one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite safety nets.
Yeah, I left him out for that reason only. I need to see more from him. I need to see more. He did freaking have a great game this past week, but I don't know. It's hard for me to trust him.
Yeah, man. That's why I left these guys to the end. There's one more guy. He's even riskier than Randall Cobb because he plays for the Bears. So you know, sometimes the Bears have good weeks, sometimes they have bad weeks. This week was a good week for them. But yeah, most of it was due to running, but this guy got his receptions in there. So he got 7 targets, 5 receptions. His name is Darnell Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy had 18.5 points. I don't believe he had a touchdown, but he had quite a bit of yards. So he was one of what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. Justin Fields. Justin Fields. He was one of his favorite receivers to go deep with. I believe he had 2 receptions that were over 30 yards. So that's where he got his numbers from. Darnell Mooney. He's had 2 weeks that he has above 12 points, but he also has 2 weeks that he's below 8 points. And one of them was a 1-pointer. So he's not consistent, but could be. What's up, Gabe?
All right, so Vince, I that's a really good observer that you put there because I was actually looking at him in one of our leagues. He's on the bench in one of the expensive leagues, you know. So with him going up against the Raiders next week, should I start him or should I sit him?
I would sit him, man. Raiders D-line is very good. Linebacker rushing today when they were rushing the quarterback, they could have gotten to Herbert, but Herbert is a little bit more experienced than Fields, so he can get out of those and dump it off quickly. But in my opinion, I don't think that the Bears will match up greatly with Las Vegas, especially with Las Vegas losing tonight. They're going to have a redemption game. They're probably going to run all over the Bears. But yeah, Darnell Mooney is probably not a safe pickup for this week. Maybe next week. I'm not too sure who they play next week, but probably not this week.
The week after that, they have a pretty tough team in Green Bay.
Even well, maybe you never know. Those divisional games can always go one way or the other.
Yeah, their corners are injured, so hopefully, maybe might want to do something with him.
Yeah, and I know that the Raiders had a corner that went down today who was pretty consistent for them. But even their 4th string was doing very well against Mike Williams. So that's another reason why I wouldn't give Mooney a chance.
Awesome. Thank you, Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah, say Mooney. I saw Mooney and I saw Randall Cobb. And for me, I just need to see more. In my fantasy views, consistency is the best thing you could have on your team. Everyone wants consistency. Even if it's not 30 points in one game, if you could consistently get 15 points a game, I'm solid with that. And here is what I call my blue chip fantasy players, you guys. If you guys don't know, your blue chip is that your high value chip. So here's your blue chip fantasy players who you did not expect to be so high. Number one, Gabriel knows this one.
Oh yeah.
Jacoby Myers. I mentioned him last podcast, you guys. I did. And obviously, things changed because last week he was only owned, I believe, in 27% of leagues. And I guess people are watching us because now he's owned in 41% of
Wow.
leagues. So, guys, pick him up. Okay, Jacoby Myers, he's ranked 38th wide receiver. Yes, 38th. He's averaging 13.35 points, averaging that many points. He is consistent. He will consistently get you 13 points. He's getting at least or averaging 11 targets a game. And guys, for those of y'all who are only 25% of you guys are starting him out of the 40%. Wake up, you guys. This guy's it. That's
Yeah.
the rookie quarterback. I can't wait for the future. This guy might have a future. So Jacoby Myers, you guys, look him up. I got one more blue chip fantasy player, you guys. Joseph, this is for you. I've been thinking about you, man. This one is for you. He just played. I talked about him last week, not in fantasy. I talked to certain individuals who came to me, DM me, asked me about questions. You guys ask me questions, okay? Hunter Renfro, wide receiver from Las Vegas. He's a 27th ranked wide receiver. He's averaging 14 points, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I need to repeat myself. He's averaging 14 points, you guys. He's averaging 8 targets a game, you guys. They are using him. They're using and abusing him. And you know what upsets me the most? Ask me what upsets me the most. Ask me, please.
How
What
many?
is
How many people own him?
16.9% of rosters have him. 16.9. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You guys better not have money in this league. I swear. You got that gets to me, man. That gets me. But you know what? That's why NSP is here. That's why we're here to help you guys out. Hunter Renfro. You guys remember the name. Put some respect on that name. And out of that 16.9%, you know how many people are starting him?
1.6.
4.3 out of 16%.
25% of the people that actually have him? Wow.
I'm about to cry, you guys. There's talent on the board. Okay. We're giving you our insider. This is literally inside our head. We are hurting ourselves and our chances for y'all. I'm not even making moves. I'm waiting till after this video publishes so I can make moves, you guys. Okay. Need to calm down. USA. But that's
All
our
right,
fantasy
AJ.
talk. Yeah.
Hold
What's
on,
up?
hold on, AJ.
Okay.
I got one more guy. I wanted to save this one for the last, and I know that Gabe is gonna like this guy because I've been talking about him all week. The Patriots just played the Bucks. It was a hard, tough game. But this guy, after James White went down, he's a running back, by the way. I looked at this one guy and thought, I've heard of this guy before. I've seen him play a few games. I like what he does, and I think he can fit that James White role. So if you're looking for a running back that is a sleeper and is in nobody's league, he's in 0.1% of rosters.
Oh my gosh.
0.1. I just took this picture today, like about 20 or before we started this video. His name is Brandon Bolden. He plays for the Patriots. He's their second string running back as of right now because of injury. But this guy is a catching back. He only had one rushing attempt, but he has 11.1 points this week, and that's because they passed it a lot. So if they get into the same situation against Houston where they need to run out the clock, something like that, they don't want to get Harris injured. they're gonna put this guy in, Brandon Bolden, and he's gonna show you he's a big, heavy hitter. He's quick and he's very decisive. So I think this guy is gonna be a great sleeper. If you're having running back issues, you need some depth. Pick this guy up. I'm pretty sure that I'm correct in this one. And Brandon Bolden is gonna make some noise.
Well, I hope so.
You know what?
I think last week, I was really skeptical about this passing offense, but with the identity now found in New England, I think it's pretty clear that you guys made it known that these receivers get a lot of touches, especially if you're in PPR.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I totally forgot about this. I could feel the questions coming in as a Niners fan and as a Shanahan system when you run the ball. For those of y'all who have Trey Sermon in your league, don't start him next week. Elijah Mitchell's coming back, baby. Elijah Mitchell's coming back, and he's going to be the freaking man.
The bee's knees.
The bees to the knees. And then I'm going to get asked the question, is he going to be consistent? Hell no, man. But not for the reasons why you're thinking, okay? This is good insider. I will remind you guys next week and the following week, because after this Arizona game next week, we have a bye week. And you know who comes back after week 6? Jeff Wilson Jr. And that guy is a freak show, man. That guy is going to be the next bee's knees. The Niners are going to have running backs again. They will be. Does that mean you should get Jeff Wilson Jr.? Hell no, brother. That just means you got the Shanahan system back running. If you have 2 running backs back there, you might pick one of them up. If you have 3, yeah. Shanahan started off with 6. By week 7, we should be back to 3, hopefully. So, guys, I probably wouldn't. Jeff Wilson Jr. probably your best bet if you're not going to listen to me. So Jeff Wilson Jr., he'll probably average around 10 to 15 points once he's back at 100% healthy. And if that's good enough for you, that's good enough for me, brother. Hey, sometimes that's all it takes, man. Because Jeff Wilson, for someone who you could pick up in 2 weeks off of just free agency, no waiver wire, 15 points is not bad. Yeah.
Shoot, I would take it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Remember, guys, try and trade for James Conner. People are probably not using him. You know?
Yep. I think last week he had 18 points. This week he had 20.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, James Conner.
We know what we're talking about here. We do the math. We do the science over here. We research all this stuff. We're on hit. Me and AJ are on this app 3 to 4 hours a day. And it's sad to say it, but I love it.
I love it too. And that's because, we're both full-time and we have full-time lives out here. And we watch these. Oh, I do. I watch these fantasy shows and NFL Network, ESPN. And let me tell you, it's a one hot joke. I don't like it. There's certain people that know what they're talking about. There's certain people that get paid just to sit there and look pretty.
Yep. Yeah. We don't get paid at all, baby. But we're here looking pretty and spitting facts.
That's dang right. So that's our fantasy talk, you guys. If you guys enjoy it, for those of y'all who are back getting some more advice, load up on some players, especially my blue chip players. I feel very confident with those. I know Vince feels very confident with he has too. He has something on his board. He's getting ready because you know what we're about to talk about? About tonight's game. And I say tonight's game because for y'all, it is Thursday and we got some Thursday night football, baby. And I'm happy because it's my division and I get to sit back and relax until Sunday when I'm sweating again. But you got the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams.
Woo! I'm scared. But
as you should be.
But hopefully there's something wrong with the system there right now because Arizona Cardinals literally ran all over them. So I'm hoping we can possibly do the same.
Well, who do you got then? Do you have the
Let's
Seahawks?
hear it. Let's hear it, Vincent.
This is why I'm going first, guys. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna
Oh,
be a tight
Ooh,
game. But
ooh.
I'm trying to be as realistic here as possible. I believe in my Seahawks. It's at home. I think we got it. It's gonna be hard, really, really hard. It's probably gonna go down to the wire, probably down to the last second, probably like a last second heave, a prayer or something. But yeah, it's gonna be a crazy one, and I'm hoping I'm correct. I hope we get that dub because we need it.
wow. Well, I think I'm either 1-1 or 2-1 here on Thursday nights. I think I had the Bengals last week, so that's one win. So I think I am 1-1. I don't think we did it the first week. But this is gonna be a tough game. I love seeing Seattle, and I think the Rams have such a unique defense. I think I'm not a big Ramsey guy. I do not like him at all, but he's been playing lights out, and he's been playing pretty solid. As much as I do not like the guy, he's a good player. He's athletic, he's physical, but and here we go. I love them Rams, man. I like their uniform. No, I actually don't like their uniform. They're ugly. So I'm gonna go with Seattle. I got the 12 man. I got Russell Wilson throwing 4 touchdowns. Thursday night, baby. Here we are. That's for you, Vincent. Woo! Let me hear you.
Heck yeah, boy.
Yeah, better than you, Cowboys fans. Let's go.
Wow, you got the 12th man winning. Dang. Okay. That's awesome. Hey, that's awesome. And in all honesty, of course, I want Seattle to lose. And of course, I want Los Angeles to lose. And trust me, Vince, I think it would be more beneficial for the Niners if the Seattle Seahawks beat LA, right? So
It's a tie.
I'm not going to say it.
It's a tie.
I will not say it. But for the sake of my record, I got Los Angeles winning 27-17. You can see the horn there. It's a horrible drawing, I know, but it's a lot better than Reed's if he was here. Guys, 27-17, I got the Rams. I feel like offensively, yeah, Seattle could keep up. But Seattle's defense, yeah, there's some holes there, and there's a lot of weapons over there in Los Angeles, especially with Matt Stafford there. He's not going to be making those mistakes that Jimmy G was making. So look out, Seattle. You're going to have a lot on your plate, but good.
Oh.
Can't even say it, guys. Yeah, we're gonna have our hands full. They got Henderson. Hopefully, I hope he's not healthy. But they got Henderson at running back. They got all those weapons. Even a guy in Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver. So I mean, they have weapons galore, more than us, more high names than us. But we're scrappy. I hope our defense does well. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be running a lot of nickel, sending in Jamal Adams to rush, try to get those sacks up again. But it's gonna be tough, man. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely going to be tough. And you guys, I want to go ahead and put Vince and I on the little screen over here because we have a huge announcement, you guys.
Ooh.
Gabe, what's our big announcement?
Awesome. So, guys, we have such a huge announcement. It's so big. It's like bigger than anything in the whole wide world. So we have Reed and I, Reed, for some obviously reasons, he's not here tonight. We love you. Thank you, Reed, for everything that you do. But Reed and I are going to be doing our own show Thursday nights where we go over the upcoming games, what to expect, players, anything that's going on in the league, just a little chat with you guys, on the podcast, me and Reed like to bash our heads. We talk a lot of smack. We definitely like talking a lot of smack to Vince and AJ. So it's going to be a good show. I hope you guys come in and join, ask us questions, call us out, do whatever you want. We're here to take it all in, and it's exciting. I'm excited to see you guys.
Awesome. That's right, you guys. We're going to have another show. Well, the same show, but it's going to be featuring Gabe and Reed only because you know how much they like to talk and bash each other. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. And don't you worry, this fantasy talk, we're getting moved to Tuesday, and we're doing it for y'all. We're getting moved to Tuesday, so you guys have enough time to put your players on the waiver wire before anyone else does. so you guys can just get the head start. If you watch NSP, you get the head start. People are like, wow, this guy made a total 180. Send him our way if you want. Send him our way. Yeah, share our link. It helps out. So yeah, Tuesday you're gonna have me and Vince, and on Thursdays you're gonna have Gabe and Reed. And don't worry, we're all gonna be together on Mondays when we are live and we answer live questions. And guys, ask us questions. We'll answer it on the show. We'll answer you right then and there. Okay, shoot us a DM. We're at Not So Pro Football Talk on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, not Twitch, YouTube. We used to be on Twitch. We're done with Twitch now. SoundCloud and Spotify, you guys. So feel generous today. Share the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, slap that bell, and guys, we'll see you guys on the waiver wire. All right, you guys. Nice seeing y'all. See y'all later. Good night.
Woo, go Hawks.